Hello dear students, so we are going to start our classes. So the topic for today is writing a resume, or sometimes we call it a curriculum vitae or CV. Okay, what is a resume and why spend time the writing one? Let's say about it. Resume writing is a crucial part of job application. So whenever you go for applying a job in private organization or any of the government organization, so what you need to do, you need to provide your resume. So now if you write a job application and send your resume without thinking, it could damage your chances of finding a job. So yeah, resume is a document where your summary of your skill, education and work experience will be there. So resume is a document where your personal detail and summary of skills or skill which you have, means professional skill which you required for your job, and education, how much education did you got, and the work experience will be there in your resume. So if you do rush while creating your resume, means you created your resume without thinking or without having important the format of resume, then it may damage your chances, it may damage your career also, or you may not get the get chance for sitting for interview. So considering the current economic climate, there is fierce competition in most industries, so spending time to make your resume stand out from rest is worthwhile. So what's it saying, that considering the economic climate of present economic climate, there is a price competition, means there is a competition for job. So price competition for job. So if you can make your resume stand out, or if you can make your resume outstanding, then you may get chance of getting selected for job, or you may get chance for sitting for the interview. So if your resume is not that good, not that effective, then you may not be listed out even for interview also. Okay, so now let's see what is resume. A resume, sometimes called curriculum vitae or CV, is a summary of your skills, education and work experience. So as I have told you earlier, it is in 2 to 3 pages or 1 or 2 pages document which has a summary of your skill, means whatsoever skill you have that related to particular job, you need to mention out there in that document. Yes, your personal details should be there in that document. Education thing, so how much education have you got, and work experience. If you have worked previously for some other company or some other organization, then you can add those in your work experience. Okay. Now, a good resume demonstrates how your skill and ability match up with the requirement of a job. So good resume demonstrate, means it shows, or it can show the pictorial image how your skill and ability that may be match up with the requirement for the job. Since nowadays professionals are being hired, so professional persons are being hired, so that's why different courses are available. So you need to show professional skill as per requirement of your job. Okay, as per requirement of the job. Okay, so here's a few reasons why writing good resume is very important. So let's see why is writing a good resume is important. Let's see, it's promote you. A resume is a self-promotional document that presents you in the best possible light for purpose of getting selected for job interview. So whenever the employer, I'm not talking about employee. Employee means a person who is doing job, and employer is a person who is providing job. So whenever employer see your resume, if it is outstanding, then he may impress with you without having a look at you, with the help having a look at your resume. Okay, now good resume will complement your cover letter writing and make your overall application stronger. See, whenever we go for job application process, you need to have one letter which is called cover letter attached with the cover letter with your resume. So now if your resume is good or your resume is perfect, then it will give compliment to your cover writing. If there is any mistakes or if there is any fault in your cover writing also, it may make up with the help of your resume. Okay, you can achieve your dream job by spending time perfecting your resume. You stand a better chance of landing your dream job, especially if you include all relevant work experience. So if you have created outstanding resume or perfect resume, then you may get your dream job. Nowadays our dream job is working for big companies, MNCs such as ONGC, Microsoft, Google, or the big constructions company. So if your resume is outstanding or perfect, then you may get chance in working for those company also, or you may get chance for sitting an interview called by those companies also. Okay, so networking can be boosted with a good resume. If your resume stands out from the rest, an employer is most likely to speak to people in their industry about you. See, networking can be boosted means if your resume is good or outstanding, then the person who is having a look at your resume may tell other person about your ability and your resume, so that whenever you go for new job, then the person who are previously working may know few things about you, or they may know about you. So the networking can be boosted, means you may now feel more comfortable working out there. You will be maybe working for the first time, but yeah, since the employer or the person have talked about you, so the other your colleague may recognize you. So it open up the referral job application. If employers like your resume but doesn't have any suitable vacancy, they are likely to recommend you for other job opening. Let's say you have posted the job application in one particular organization, but that particular organization doesn't have a suitable job for you, then, and if your resume is outstanding or very good, what they can do on the particular person can recommend your resume to other organization also. Okay, so list the following, read the following list and tick ones you think should be included in our curriculum resume or a curriculum writing. Email address, yes, it should be there. Favorite friends and actors, yeah, you can ignore this. Nationality, yes, you need to implement this. Which nationality does you belongs to? Phone number, yes, it should be there. Computer skill, yes, it should be there, because nowadays a computer skill has been becoming a very important part of job application process. Gender, yes, it should be there. Address, yes, your permanent address as well as present address. Permanent address means place where you belong to, and present address means presently where you are staying. Okay, and date of birth, yes, it should be there. Newspaper you subscribe to, I don't think this would be in this need to be inserted. Marital status, yes, whether you are married or unmarried, that need to be. Award and achievement, yes, whether you have got some awards and achievement in previous job or you're studying, while you're studying phase, yes, you should mention those things, so it will have the chance of getting selected for the job also. Place of birth, yeah, you can include, or you doesn't want, then I think you can. Height and weight, it's optional, it's not necessary to include height and weight. Detail of education, yes, detail of education needs to be included in your resume. How much you have been studying, whether you are just high school pass or secondary level pass, or your bachelor's or your master's, doctorates, and from where, from which boards and university, that need to be added. So details of education, skills and interests, yes, If any other skill apart from job or skills that are required in the field of job that need to be inserted in your resume, and interest, if you have any interest, then also that need to be included. Language known, so which how many languages you know, how many languages you can understand, how many languages you can read, how many languages you can speak out, how many languages you can write. This need to be implemented. Festival you celebrate, this should not be there. Detail of previous employment, yes, detail of previous employment, if any, then yes, you need to provide. Your religion, yes, you need to insert your religion also. Now CV, so the thing which have to be there in your CV are contact details. Yes, contact details should be there in your CV. Your name, address, present address, as well as your permanent address. Phone number, yes, it should be there, and email address also should be there. Objective, so state what is the objective? A statement of what you intend to achieve and contribute through your service to particular organization. So let's say if you get selected, then what you want to achieve in a particular one or two line, you need to write objective of particular getting job or applying it. So while writing objective, you need to be a positive about company also, as well as yourself also, such as to use my skill and work to the best of my ability for the development of the organization. So what he want to say, whatever skill particular I have, I want to use, and my ability for development of organization, so that the organization may get developed or may get benefited from me. Okay, next is personal information. You may include your gender. Yes, you need to insert your gender, date of birth, place of birth, nationality, marital status, language known to you, this reading. So under this personal information, you may include these things, gender, date of birth, place of birth. Yeah, you can include, or he doesn't want to, I don't think it will hamper a lot. Nationality, marital status, language known. Optional information includes spouse name and number of children. So you can also include your spouse name, such as your husband name, your wife name, and number of children you have, means you are having this number, 1 number, 3 children, 2 number. So these are optional. Now area of expertise, so work skill that you have. So in which field you are expertise. Let's say if you are applying for the teaching, then you need to mention in which field you are expertise, in particular language, in any of the subject. Or if you are working for software engineer and a software company, if you are working for software or applying for in a software company, then area of expertise, in which field. If you are working with front-end coding or back-end coding, or creating a database, or if you are good with creating a website, then area of expertise need to be mentioned in your resume. Employment history, yes, if you have worked previously for some organization or some industry, then this need to be mentioned in your resume. This states your work history. It includes different organization where you were employed previously. So yes, as I told you earlier, if you have worked previously 2 to 3 companies, then all those details need to be, you need to insert in your resume. The length of each employment and position you have held. So in which position you were previously working in company, that need to be mentioned in particular resume or curriculum vitae. Okay, now next is education qualification. Detail of education you have received, detail of degrees and training. Means detail of education, whether you have got a +2 pass, or you have graduation, you have got you have done a master's, you have done doctorate, or any other additional training which you have received, need to be implemented in a education qualification skill and interest. Now you can state here other skill and interest you have. Other skills such as you can dance and any other kind of skill. If you have an interest interest which you have, you can also mention out there. But negative things should not be included in skills and interests which may not show good impression for your employer about yourself towards an employer. Other enhancement awards and achievement. Yes, I have told you if you have any if you have got any awards or achievement previously in organization or while studying, then yes, you need to mention it in awards and achievement section. Okay, next is about me or bibliography. So this optional section, this is an optional, you may include or you may not include. So this is an optional. This way short account about yourself, 2 to 3 lines about yourself. Okay. Now you can see CV form. So name, your name need to be there, address, email address, telephone number, objective. Next is personal information. So date of birth, place of birth, nationality, marital status, language known, employed, yes or no. Now next is education qualification. Okay, you need to include education qualification, computer skills. Yes, if you have any computer skill, and nowadays whenever you apply for job, the computer skill has been important part of any of the job. Skill and interest, awards and achievement. Okay, so let's see, here is some example of resume. Let's see out here. Now we can say curriculum vitae. So name, permanent address and current address or present address, mobile number, email ID. Now you can see objective, to work in such an organization in which I get ample opportunity to apply my skill for upliftment of the organization and myself. I always want to grow with growth of my organization. So such a good objective has been here. Everything is positive out here. About he have mentioned about organization, what the organization can get from that particular portion, and what he wants from the organization. Now academic details. See, post graduation, from where, from which university, and percentage, graduation, HSLC means higher secondary level, higher senior secondary level, secondary level class 10. Now additional training, CCNA, NC, NCP. Okay. Now next is personal profile, where you can include your personal profile. Okay, your father's name, mother's name, date of birth, gender, nationality, marital status, language known, hobbies and interests. So you can also include hobbies and interests, strength. So what are your interests and all, or strength, what is your strength, and work experience. So you can see out here he has mentioned to work experience, work as a junior developer in innovation technology from so and so, and working as a network engineer in Wipro Limited. Okay, so this is an example. And at the end declaration, and here you can see another example. You can see our personal detail portion, his address, email address, objective, education detail, post graduation, graduation, SSLC, PHS, technical skill which he had got. All these things have been mentioned out here. Now you can see out here, this is quite not that professional look. You can see professional experience, so it's in a current line. It will be better if it could be in a next new line. It will be better. Okay, so now you can see, okay, strength, detail. I think by looking at this resume, it's not that good even. So whenever any employer goes through this resume, he may not get impressed with this resume. So the chances for selecting for a job interview also may be less. Okay, so that's it for this topic. Thank you very much.